And the market, he could do anything. Now, we have come back to a bit of a seller's market, but things are changing, and things are changing because of competition, new players coming in, and also the consumer getting more informed and aware. And this is certainly slowly bringing a change, and we are hopeful that going forward, this will make a difference to the market. I would like to ask Mr. Erin that how going forward, when many more new developers come.
Market. I think it's different altogether because nowadays market is sizzling. Market is sizzling, and prices in metros is skyrocketed. But as a differently, I am seeing all is said by Mr. Akas and Niranjan. There is a market demand and there is some problems by the other ministries like service introduced work, then after the service tax and implementation of, there are some more FDIs that can introduced and that can be supported instead of there is some disturbance by RBI guidelines, or there is some news like they are barring the FDI or something. So I think this is yeah, there is RBI news the day before yesterday. So I think this is all.
Thanks.
Like impacting the current asset company, we have to go back to thinking about what.
Can everyone hear me? Okay, great. I guess the question is, why is debt being constrained? I mean, the answer really is that what the government is assuming is there's a bit of an asset bubble or asset inflation where the prices are increasing of real estate, and one of the ways to decrease or deflate some of this asset bubble or prices is by constraining the debt. However, what is happening, and one of the themes I'm hearing throughout today from the panel, is really that all it does is create supply-side constraints, whether supply-side constraints are because of capital, which is either on debt side, as we're seeing right now, or on the equity side, as Mr. Aaron just pointed out, with FDI constraints, or on the regulation side, with Mr. Hidustan talking about how the approvals are now going from 40 to 58, or ULC is not being eradicated. My submission is that all kinds of supply-side constraints ultimately lead to an even further increase in the cost of inputs and factor costs. The fact that we have to find means of curbing some of the speculative interest, but we have to do it more rationally and a little bit more organized and a more well-thought-out manner.
Thanks. About Bangalore, huge supply. Bangalore is getting the maximum number of office supply. It's one of the most active markets in India as far as real estate is concerned, thanks to the IT industry.
But the emergence of suburbs, I mean, though we all recognize that metros are getting congested in terms of movement, in terms of prices, though we recognize this fact, we still subconsciously focus on metros. I think going forward, the answer is the emergence of new suburbs, looking on the outskirts of cities, larger formats in terms of townships, also very importantly providing the necessary infrastructure within these townships. Having said that, I also believe there's a huge potential in tier 2 cities, especially in the south. Reason being, if you look at the investments that are flowing into these tier 2 cities in the south is large. I think people deciding today to go to tier 2 cities is a little too late, but going forward, I think tier 3 cities have now started leaping on our radar screens. So yes, definitely a great potential in the south.
Good. Thanks, that's good to know.
This is the main issue which should be addressed today. The main concern today is that a general public and a common man is not able to afford the houses in the major cities, and because of that it is giving place to development of slums and unauthorized colonies. We developers have a lot of social responsibility on ourselves, and we should very carefully address all these issues. So while you are thinking of developing any township or any commercial hubs or any group housing schemes, a developer should first assess the local dynamics around, what is the total number of people who can afford in which budget range, and then accordingly you should construct the houses and the other infrastructure. We at Haja Developers, we look at basically these factors. First, number one, whether we are serving the society, whether people can entire professionals and engineering and architectural people should be in touch with the global trends. They should be able to look at what is happening. So that is selling at that, and my location is this, and this is the price, and then we don't understand what is going to happen after 20 years from now, whether there is enough water, there is enough energy.
To ask you a question, if I may, we always talk about housing. Even in the press, in the media, you always discuss housing. Somehow, the commercial real estate is, does not get so much attention. While if you look at the market, if you look at Delhi or even Mumbai, there's an acute shortage of office space, and the rentals are one of the highest in the world. As you know, we have done a study where Delhi and Mumbai both are in the top 10 cities in the world as far as office rentals are concerned. And as an economy, we are...
I'm a person of housing, but still, there is a shortage of office space definitely, and the mismatch is because we have unplanned development. Why in Delhi this unauthorized colonies have developed? Because we have failed to plan. If at the right time we could have provided the commercial spaces to the people, like take the example of Rohini. In Rohini it has become slum. In every house you will find a commercial on the ground floor. So what happened? If you look at the past years, DDA delayed in allotments, in auction of commercial plots. Because of this delay, because normally what they used to do, first of all, they allotted plots for housing. So by the time the group housings are complete, and other institutions like schools are complete, but they did not go for the auction of commercial spaces. So that is why this unauthorized development started and took place. So second problem was that the proper enforcement, law enforcement was not there. So people started encroaching. So a lot of encroachment takes place. Like take the example of Madhu Vihar at Patpalganj. The entire Madhu Vihar was a commercial center. It was supposed to be a big commercial hub, but that has taken a shape of unauthorized commercial development. This is all because of a delayed approach. So definitely there will be shortage of commercial space because of this factor. Apart from this, there is a delay in the master plan. Now we are listening since master plan 2001. Now we are talking about master plan of 2021, but it is 2007, and we haven't seen the real shape of the master plan. It is here because now Supreme Court has taken a stand, and now Supreme Court is saying that let the MCD, DDA and other authorities should come and prove that they can provide infrastructure, water supply, electricity sufficient for the extra load which will come after the Master Plan 2021 will come into effect. Supreme Court is right. Why our authorities are not submitting their proposal? They're not submitting the proposal that they are capable of doing the entire infrastructure. They can redo the entire infrastructure of the city, and they can plan for another 50 years or 100 years. It can be redone. So they should come out with a proposal, sound proposal, so that our honorable courts are satisfied and the master plan is clear. So that redevelopment of the capital of India can take place. Recently I went to Singapore and I visited Redevelopment Authority. So I found they are working more on the redevelopment rather than new development. Because it's very easy to construct. Like see our buildings in Connaught Place. See the conditions of the buildings there. The commercial hub, one of the most prestigious commercial hub of capital of India. It requires complete redevelopment. So for that purpose, I think we need a platform. We need a strong platform in which all the people from the real estate, builders, real estate consultants can sit and discuss about all these problems and coordinate with the government. If you take the example of MIT, they have a doctorate course on real estate. They have master's degree course in real estate development, and they are also organizing short-term courses on real estate. So why not in India? Today I want to propose India's first real estate institute of developers. If you all agree, and we will discuss this point later also. So we need India's first real estate institute. So, that through that platform, we can organize seminars, short-term courses can take place, new builders can also be trained, and through that platform, a code of ethics, code of conduct is decided, and some workshops can also take place so that our builders can be trained for new materials, new technology. Now it's not the question of affordable housing. First of all, we have to see that how this problem can be solved. As you have asked me about the shortage of commercial space, we have to go high-rise. In master plan, it is clear now the height is free for the commercial development. So we have to think from that angle, are we really prepared for 40 story or 100 story? We have to see from earthquake point of view. Even today, our master plan, our code of this IS code on earthquake is silent about the interiors. You know, when earthquake occurs, tremors occurs, then there is more damage due to interiors like fridge or your almirah will fall down on the person who is living. So there is no sincere efforts have been made till date. So my question is that we need a platform. I highly appreciate the initiative taken by HT Media, Hindustan Times. At least they have given me opportunity to convey my views when Honorable Minister is here to listen our problems.
Thank
and
you.
he can certainly guide us.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you. I think we are running out of time, plus we had a discussion. I had a long list of questions, but I think I'm going to leave with just one difficult question which I don't like to answer. So I've got an opportunity to ask the people who should really answer that question. If I could ask each panelist, but very quickly, only 2 minutes each. And I think that's the question most of the audience or anybody else in the market wants to know, is that what is...
Today, the prices at which the developers are offering properties are beyond the budget of the common man. You have to take care of the EMI, and EMI should be maybe 40% of the income, Because into account, we can still give affordable housing. And it's a question of demand and supply. If we all correct our prices,
I think will only be upwards. Because I mean, traditionally, if you've seen the south, the prices have been very affordable. I mean, even today we're selling apartments at around 3,000 to 3,300 rupees a square foot, which by any stretch of imagination, and if you look at the specifications, is really high, is very affordable. And if you compare salary levels across the country, are pretty much the same.
So this is the first time I've heard the term.
There are a lot of reasons not for a dip, not for the growth. Not for a dip, the reason is the FDI. For example, the
outlook on prices still going upwards, and I would attribute increasing salaries across all these major cities as a major factor, which is still keeping affordability relatively better.
In areas where infrastructure is well developed, you're going to see a rise in prices, maybe 10 to 15% this year. On the issue of new townships, peripheral areas, new areas which are enveloping, I think what the minister said is going to happen. You're going to get more affordable.
Mr. Hidustan, like where there is proper infrastructure and we do quality housing, so prices will be good over there. And these places, which are far away from the populated area, so then there, the chances of prices going down.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think everybody is in agreement here. The prices are going to go up and remain high. So most of you wanted to buy housing. I think you'll have to go for a higher loan or wait for some longer time. I would like to open the house. Okay, great. Good question. Thanks. Yes, please.
This is Subhash Lakhotia, Tax Guru of CNBC Awas. Otherwise, by heart, I love real estate because it is MMI for me and my friends. MMI means money-making ideas. And friends also, although the pointer is that you have to raise only some questions, but as Honorable Minister, who is dedicated, dynamic and devoted, and three beautiful words, Mr. Minister, which you said, new big ideas. You want to welcome them, hence some of the pointers on which I like your kind pointers to be taken care of. Number one, FDI. Please do not compare FDI and the foreign investment as coming in the stock market and the real estate. Real estate is a sector where if FDI comes, it will help the country. Similarly, the point is with regard to the REITs. If you can do something to do really big way, REITs, real estate investment trust, as is happening in USA. If it can be brought to India, Honorable Minister, your entire, I repeat, your entire requirement of few thousand crore rupees can be melted away, can be washed away, can be met without any problem at all. Now the stamp duty rate and the hassles which the builders are having with regard to single window clearance, I would suggest that there should be single window clearance only we want something to happen. On the back side of your backdrop we find metros and beyond. But Honorable Minister, may I say that metros and beyond, there is no differentiation, especially one point, and that is corruption in the property registration area. 100%, whether it is village or a big town or a metropolitan town, there is a very big corruption, and I request that as you are dynamic personality, you can do it. And your point of great big idea, I like to share an idea and then close. Honorable Minister, you have spoken about public-private partnership. Here is an idea which I like to share, and especially it will be of benefit to all. DIL, Developer Investor Lakhotia. Yes, Honorable Minister, in the same way, if the builders were to take help of the leading industrialists who are not in the real sector, bring them in with them, then they will be able to do it. And last question to you, Honorable Minister. 2010 we are going to have 1 lakh rupee car. Will you provide 1 lakh rupee house in 2010?
Impact. Why don't we increase the FAR of our country? Mr. Hidustan will be aware, in 1953 FAR of Bombay was 4.7. Now it has come down to 4.7 in fact. So what my submission is, if you increase the FAR of the cities, we are talking about developments, everything in fact, we have been doing this development of IGI through GMR in fact, but bringing on new development in fact.
Thanks. I think
cities 5 years ago. Now we're one of the unlivable cities. I just came back yesterday. I mean, from point A to point B takes 2 hours. Now you're one of the prominent developers from Bangalore. Can you influence the government to do something about it and be a model for other cities?
Some of them quickly. First, Urban Land Ceiling Act has been scrapped in almost all the states except West Bengal and Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, there are indications of change of mind. Well, Government of India has no sticks to hang, has only carrots to offer. I have been offering carrots after carrots. Second thing is about tier 2, tier 3 cities. We have a scheme not only for the major metros, but also for small and good and 4 on the scale. It's being done for the first time. The last question put by the moderator was about the market. For a minister, it would be imprudent